Oh, it popped away.
Hey, we're live. This is the NNPA's Let It Be Known. We got Nakia Cooper with us from the Bayou Beat. How about that? You down in the swamp, right?
That's right.
You
I'm in Houston,
there you go.
Texas.
And Houston. I thought that was when he said Bayou. I thought it was Louisiana.
Yes, no, we cover Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, the Carolinas, Mississippi. The Bayou is a southern term. We are a southern vernacular. If you hear me a little bit, I'm a little bit on that
Yep.
countryside. So, you know.
I just got back from Dallas last night, so I
That's
was
right.
not too far from you. What's up, Anthony?
Yeah.
Anthony Tillman. Anthony is not only an accomplished journalism. He's a social media king, and he's a commissioner in was it Montgomery County?
District Heights,
Mission
Prince
Heights.
George's County,
Prince George's County.
District Heights,
Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
Anthony is doing things. New baby. Oh man, you got to see the pictures, Nakia. Some of them are on social media, so but check it out. So look, stuff that's trending. We talking what's trending. We talking. This is Twitter talk, Black Press Twitter talk. So I'm going to start off with this, and it's unfortunate that the Washington Post did a column on this the way they did it, because you know how people are going to perceive it. And if you look at the twins, so the comments, and it's about Herschel Walker and Paul Waldman, at Paul Waldman 1. WALDMAN 1, the number 1. He writes, his headline is, Herschel Walker is forcing us to ask how dumb is too dumb to be a U.S. senator. He says he's exploring that question in his article. My man said, we don't need this climate bill. We got enough trees. That's one of his latest. I'm telling you, where's Herschel Walker coming from, y'all?
Man, I mean, it's just what the Republicans say. It just don't make no sense, and it kind of goes to what I want to talk about, which is Governor Rick Scott.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about another week of President Biden vacation in Delaware, and my man in Italy on a private yacht. You know what I'm saying? On the Florida primary, by the way. And he's talking about someone else traveling when he's doing the same traveling himself and vacationing on a private yacht. So why are you worried about what the president is doing when you're not even worrying about your own state doing a primary? That's influential to the race.
But let me ask you something, Nakia. And going back just before we even get further into what Anthony's saying, I hear what he's saying, but how do we feel that this white guy, right, Paul Waldman, and the Washington Post with the headline on Herschel Walker, how dumb is too dumb to be a U.S. senator? Check out some of the responses, right? Some folks are saying, don't be disrespectful or rude. Mr. Walker is eligible to run. This is what Maya Lowenthal wrote. And then Jalada, at Jalada, JALADAH with a capital A, says the sad thing is people will vote for him because of his popularity and his endorsement from Trump. But do we care that white folks are now saying how dumb is too dumb with him? I mean, it's not like he's invited to the barbecue, right?
Well, here's the thing. And if you see me writing down things a lot, because, That's what journalists do. I'm taking my notes. I think we've come to a point in time in our lives when it's about politics and popularity.
Right.
So it's more about who is qualified. I think when Ronald Reagan showed that, you can transition from Hollywood to the White House, everybody thought, okay, so I can do it. I think that how do I say this? Donald Trump showed us all that anything is possible in America with the right thumb thugging, as you can say, with Twitter, because that's what Twitter and social media is, or what it has become, a bunch of thumb thugging. And so with that being said, Herschel Walker has just as much of an opportunity for this new American dream as anybody else out there, or i.e. just as much as any other white folks out there, right? Okay.
But is it embarrassing though? Are you embarrassed at all for him?
Nah, you know why I'm not? Because he put himself in that arena. So when you put yourself in that arena, you open yourself up to criticism from everybody. It's going to come at you all ways. You know what? Hey, you were an athlete. Put your armor on and suit up and take the punches. Now we have to interpret it the way that we need to interpret it. And we make our decisions based on, whether or not it's Republican, Democrats, or anything like that, right? But Herschel Walker has to just get ready for it, because not only is it going to come to him from the white people, it's going to come to him from his own black people because of Republican status and whatnot. But a lot of people don't really understand that blacks were Republicans before they were Democrats. But that's neither here nor there right now, right? But yeah, brother's just gonna have to take the blows. How dumb?
But you know what? David Youngblood says. I asked whether or not he's invited to the barbecue or not. David Youngblood said he cannot take a 2-go plate. That's for sure. So check that. Oh man.
I don't know. Let's just ask, how long has it been since Herschel Walker invited any of us to the barbecue?
No, but he don't get
about athletes and how they
don't get to
black woman. Leave that alone.
he don't get to send the invites like OJ can't invite you to the barbecue.
Oh yeah, OJ.
I'm not going.
OJ, I think OJ has crossed over to where the potato salad isn't even real anymore. Okay, you don't even eat the potato salad at OJ Simpson's barbecue.
So they don't get to send the invitation.
Cans in it.
No, look, I'm not even going. I'm not even going to Herschel Walker bar. I don't even know what he's going to say at the barbecue. He might say something incredibly stupid at the barbecue, and I might not even have a response.
You know what? That barbecue, like I said, may have cranberries and pecans in the potato salad instead of
gosh, here we go.
The other thing, There you go.
So Anthony, this is one for you though. Daniela Pierre, and this is right up your alley. She's asking for today's Twitter talk. She says, can we also discuss why NMPA and other legacy Black organizations aren't verified on Twitter?
I could talk about that all day. And
I know.
So 2 years ago, I started a whole campaign to get Black press organizations verified on Twitter. At that point, it was only the New York Amsterdam was the only
Amsterdam News, yeah.
Amsterdam News was the only Black news organization verified on Twitter.
Wow.
I finally got the Washington Informer verified on Twitter. The Philadelphia, what was it? The Philadelphia Tribune, and it was like maybe two more. No, hold on. So it was the Chicago Defender, the Philadelphia Tribune, and the Washington Informer are the only three, and of course New York. So there's only 4 out of over 20 Black news organizations verified on Twitter. And the reason why that happens is because they don't really think our news is influential to be verified enough. And it's funny because I actually approached Stacey. Yep, there you go. I approached Stacey to write a story on it. He
also got me on an NABJ panel to moderate a panel about that too.
Yep. So we actually worked on we had a panel. We had we reached out to the NABJ, which is a National Black Journalists Association, to do a whole panel interview. So we're in the process of still, I'm still advocating for the Black press to have a voice. They use our stories every single day to make headlines, but unfortunately, the Black press isn't validated enough to talk about our own stories on Twitter.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
So I resonate really with what you say, and so I'm making my notes because I'm saying I'm gonna have to call on you, after this, for that help with that Twitter verification. I am the current president of the Houston Association of Black Journalists. So it's our local chapter of NABJ. And so, and then I also work on my offside, or the main job that I'll go to in a couple of hours is that I am I'm the digital managing editor at our NBC affiliate down here, television station. And so I do know that the difference, I'm treated two totally different ways.
Yep, absolutely.
When I go to an event, and is it which way do you announce yourself? Do you announce yourself as Nakia Cooper, the managing editor of this, big letter, affiliate, right? Or do you proudly say you're Nakia Cooper, the publisher, and I'm very proud of that, of Bayou Beat News. And before I had Bayou Beat News, I had News with Attitude. And that was something that I was so proud that the way it grew just by accident was that I always put that first. I'm Nakia Cooper, News with Attitude, because guess what? They can throw me out of any one of their NBC, CBS, Fox, any kind of affiliate that they want to. You cannot throw me out of News with Attitude. You cannot throw me out of Bayou Beat News because I own this, and I'm proud of that. And so,
you know what? Yeah, I mean, I was about to call you Daniela because she's writing it again. But you know what, Nakia? It's so interesting how, and Anthony has made this point many times too, how the Black press is treated just in general, right? Even so, for instance, and I'm gonna reach for it, y'all. But for instance, it's a shame, and we did a story on this. But what's a shame is that, see this right here? See that right there? That's called White House hard pass.
That's right.
Now, I've been with the Black press, NMPA, for 10 years. I was told NMPA basically never had a White House hard pass. Why? How could that even be? How is that even possible, right? And then it extends beyond that, right? We did a story a few years ago how our Black celebrities, our Black politicians, and not necessarily the CBC, and I mean until lately, because it's been hard getting the CBC to talk with us. But we did a story about that. And one of the things that it kept coming back to is that we trying to figure out, is it the celebrity? Is it the Black politician? Is it the Black business guy who has certain people around them that won't give them the message? Now, we've had people like Stephanie Mills who was going to do CNN, and we call, and she told her, no, we're doing Black press, right?
That's right.
But she's rare. She's rare. I got a thing, get myself in trouble right now, but I got a text just a little while ago from Dr. Chavis. Jay-Z and Beyonce is doing they're doing a great thing. They're giving all this money to some HBCU students, and Doc says, we got to do a story about it, and we will. But my thing is, we will never get a comment directly from Jay-Z. We will never get a comment directly from Beyonce, but they will sit with the New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some previous work for the New York Times.
50 Cent has been on a roll down here in Houston, Texas. He has become the new king of the city. And I reached out, and I'm trying to reach out, and I'm just going to say it right now. 50. I asked for, I need to sit down with 50 for Bayou Beat News, and I heard that he's not doing any local press. It's all national. Well, support the Black press, because the Black press supports you, which I'm not saying is I haven't heard from it from the brother. I've heard from it from some certain people, who I've been reaching out to. And it's like, no, before you were the national phenom, you were rocking in the club with you. you know. So for anybody, I'm sitting here, you know, saying I would love to have that interview because I would love for him to be on the front page of one of these. This is Bayou Beat News. These are my print magazines. Print editions. Okay. We are focusing on everything. Look at that. Shameless plugs. That is
No,
out.
it's not. Look,
What? Sometimes I will promote. I remember being in the newsroom at a certain station. It was a couple of years ago, and I pitched, and I was like, "Oh wow, 50 Cent is down here," and this is when he was became big with Vitamin Water, and I was like, "We got to try to get an interview." They looked at me like, and this is in the editorial meeting, looked at me like, "And what?" You know,
yeah.
and it was and what? I remember when Don Cornelius passed away, and I was in another newsroom, right? And I had to actually go on Twitter because I went and said, so I said, Don Cornelius passed away. This is breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
The producer, who was not of the same, you know, hue as us, said, who is Don Cornelius and why is this news? And I had to go through this whole thing of saying, just like American Bandstand, right? Dick Clark, he's the Dick Clark. Do you not understand what this means? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so she added it begrudgingly, but this is Don Cornelius. This is us, you know?
But you know, Nakia, again, though, you know, they hire these folks and they don't look like us. They don't know anything about us. And then they tell them, I mean, these folks then become the gatekeepers and
telling us what's news.
Right, exactly. And I will say this, Denise, it's good to see Denise watching Denise Rolock Barnes, the fabulous publisher of the Washington Informer. She says, give props where props is due. Of course, Mayor for Life, DC Mayor Marion Barry was pro-Black press, absolutely.
Yes.
And she says the same can be said about Muriel Bowser, the current mayor. She says you got to give kudos to those who appreciate our value and influence of Black voters. So we do give, we're right, because I opened the Informer, the WashingtonInformer.com, you open the Informer and you will see not canned quotes, not press release quotes, but you'll see direct quotes from Muriel Bowser. And of course, when Mayor Barry was around, when he was alive, there's no question. He not only talked to the Black press, but he went to Black press events. But check this out. Dennis Rodman, what y'all think of that?
I love it.
Yeah, Tariq Nasheed, right? At Tariq Nasheed says people. So the U.S. don't want Rodman to go to Russia to try and get Brittany Griner, but Tariq says so. People want to complain that Black men weren't doing enough to help Brittany Griner, and when they do, Biden's administration discourages it. There's a big story about Dennis going to Russia. He said, "I'm going to get that girl." Remember he went to North Korea.
He went to Korea. And of course, you know, and we actually gave him that ambassador role. You know what I'm saying? We gave him that when he retired from the NBA, and you know he did that Korea stint. They gave him the ambassador role. Remember, they did the whole story on it, and that's how he felt. That's why he feels he can go to Russia. You know, he thinks he's like this ambassador, and he thinks that, you know, his influence will help him, you know, return her home. But
because he became the homeboy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We gave him that power to think he can do that. You know what I'm saying? The media, we gave that influence and said, look, he can go wherever he wants to. He has influence, and honestly, I'm rooting for him. I hope he can go to, you know, Russia and bring her home based off of his influence. And I hope that he's tight enough with, you know, the leadership at Russia to make that happen, because she deserves to get home. And of course, you know, and that's what everybody's talking about.
Yes, I actually published this on Bayou Beat News also about, you know, whether or not it was going to be, you know, cause more harm than good. And it's actually, like we said, you know, and they put it in everything. In 2018, Rodman showed up on the sidelines. You know, he was with Trump and meeting with Kim Jong-un and Singapore, and you know, he was the bestie, the homeboy. He gave Kim that street cred. You know, everybody want to have that, you know, cool black friend. I hate to say it, you know, y'all can kill me later, but whatever. And then and he actually credited himself with helping to secure the release of American Kenneth Bae from North Korea. So you know how they say sometimes, what do you have to lose? Because I don't know how it would turn out. None of us do, you know. And of course, now what we do need to really point out is, hey, this is right now is when it comes to a prisoner swap. And I don't think that Mr. Rodman can help them get Victor Bout out, because that has to still go through America, right? But maybe if it's softening the talks or whatnot, you know, in this world where we have celebrities becoming presidents without any political background, then surely Dennis Rodman could be the what do you have to lose? Maybe he can do something. We don't know. This is the climate that we have never seen before. The world is something else. So all I know is that we have a black woman over there in Russia, and she is imprisoned and has been given a sentence, swift and hard, of a little over 9 years.
Exactly. And that goes back to the black press, you know, this us covering, you know, our news. You know what I'm saying? We're constantly covering our news, and people don't care about our news until it's relevant. People don't care about our news until it's relevant. I'm not sure if you remember, but in 2020, you know, I broke a story right here in the DMV about a Trump voter intimidation story, and that story went viral for that whole. I got featured in the New York Times and Rolling Stones for this one story, and yep, there it goes. The video I posted, I was at a site in Virginia, and there was some Trump supporters that came and bum rushed the polling site, and I broke the story. I was live tweeting it. Video got over 8 million views, and that goes to show that people don't care about black press until it's relevant. And that goes to where I tell Denise this all the time. You know, when you're a photographer and you're covering when you're covering stories, you get treated differently. Even Stacey, he put up his White House press badge, past what he should have had 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Right. We still get treated differently. When
listen, Anthony, we get treated different. I've said this before so many different times. Like, I've done freelance for the New York Times, the New York Post as well for years, right? And when I came onto the black press, and it still goes on. I mean, I don't do any more freelancing for others, just exclusively for the black press now. But when I wanted to get certain black someones, and I call, Stacey Brown calling from the Washington Informer, Stacey Brown calling from Black Press, NMPA. Such and such is not available, or such and such is not doing interviews. Call a few days later. Oh, I'm doing a piece for the New York Times. Oh, let me get him. Yeah, let me get him on the phone. Yeah, and that has happened time and again. And these are folks who before they got a name for themselves, where were they? Black press, right? When they get in trouble, right? With black press, it's one of the one, because once they make it, once they on top, then I ain't got time for them. I ain't got time for them.
I say this, and to all the politicians out there, don't come to the black press and bombard us when it's election time. Give us a seat at the table all the time. But even then, Nakia, they come election time after they lose to cry about it, to say, oh, it was unfair. Race played a factor in this. We don't want to hear it then. Now it becomes our story, right? Oh, y'all got to tell the story because it's racist. Yeah. You turn your back on us, when it's, I don't even want to say when it's convenient. You turn your back on us every day.
And the first thing they say is, we don't cover that. Yeah. You know who don't cover it? The Washington Informer don't cover it. Or, the Bayou Beat didn't cover that. I never see them covering this. You know, and it's always our fault when we don't cover something, but when we cover something and we don't have access, it's our fault. You know, I've been at the same events where a lot of these major newspapers and outlets are, and we're the same as they are when we walk in, but we don't get the same access as they get when we're there. You know,
and can I say this?
Problem,
we don't get the same dollars either.
And that's why Twitter needs to verify these Black press organizations, because validation matters. When your story, when Stacey became verified and he posted a story, he got more eyes. And that's where it all goes down to, is when you are verified on Twitter, you're an authentic source of information, and people will take your story seriously because you got that blue check. And if you don't have a blue check, then they're gonna look at you and say, "Oh, I need to go to a Stacey to see if it's correct." You know, they're gonna call you fake news if you don't have a blue check. They're gonna say, "Oh, if we post something, they're gonna say, well, I didn't see Stacey do it, or I didn't see this person post it. They're verified, so your story doesn't mean nothing." And that's the problem with it right now. But we're really quick, while we're on Twitter topics, I have to talk about what's trending all over the world right now is this Murder Inc. Docuseries that was on BET, and of course Ashanti is trending right now. Did any of you guys watch the show? Have you guys been following that topic?
I watched the first one and I'm taping the rest of them. And I have been following along with a little bit, or I've been hearing. I even was talking to a girlfriend of mine last night, and I'll be brief, about, you know, brother loose lips, sinking ships, and you keep on bringing up the past, and hey, your buns was married, let it go. Okay. Now, I don't know what it is, but you know, she not talking about you. Stop talking about her. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying. So everybody knows that Ja Rule and Ashanti, they killed the 2000s. You know,
yes, they did.
Always on time, was on every radio station. So you gotta admit the impact of that duo. That duo had a huge impact, and of course, you know what was actually trending last night was Ashanti declining to be a part of that docuseries, and of course, you know, with him, of course, being married at that time, you know, being the top of his game,
and not even thinking about his wife,
and not even thinking about
you have a lot of nerve to talk about this and embarrass your wife. Shut your mouth. Leave well enough alone. You are bringing two Black women, or two women, period, into this mess, and you don't think that you're embarrassing your wife?
I mean, he don't care.
Your former mistress don't even have. She's not even giving you. She's giving you a no comment.
But that's not fair, though. I still think Ashanti should at least told her side of the story. Now, I don't know if she's going to come out.
I'm speaking of.
I mean, honestly, it's only one side. It was only a one-sided story. I mean, I'm not. Now, one thing I will say is, you watched the first episode. You watched that first episode, and you see the power of how Murder Inc. got started. Irv Gotti was on top of the game. He had DMX. He had Jay-Z, and he came out swinging. He controlled the narrative, and of course, Ja Rule and Ashanti, they took off. Like Ja Rule, you know, and that's the thing about it. Ashanti should at least, I know it was a huge at that point, but she should at least gave her input on a lot of stuff that was said.
She doesn't have to.
I would love to see what
my man said that whole Happy song. Brother had $300 million. Anthony, I gotta spar off with you. Sometimes, baby, look, this is the thing. Why do women always have to explain themselves? She doesn't want to revisit it. She doesn't want to revisit him. So the story about Murder Inc. is not what he's trying to talk about. He's not talking about always on time, because baby girl came out with that swag and that stuff that had all of us just, you know, we all were running and, you know, changing up the wardrobe. So she influenced a whole generation of us, and she's still rocking it. Body is still flawless, and she has it going on. She doesn't want to revisit the old flame. Stop trying to make her do that. If he wants to talk about the rise of Murder Inc. and Ashanti's and how she helped become the queen and help them with that platform, that's one thing. That's not what he wants to talk about. He wants to talk about the bedroom secrets, the things with him, his wife, how he found out that she was dating Nelly. She's done with that. Sometimes we got to let go and let God and let the next boyfriend have their say. He needs to work on repairing his relationship with his wife, which I'm sure he has, because, you know, that $300 million, you know, that's saying a different tune. But anyway, she doesn't have to. Women have to stop thinking that we have to talk about it. I don't have to say anything to you about it. My silence is telling you that, brother, I've moved on. Okay, you need to move on too. And sometimes when we deny access to ourselves, that hurts you a whole lot more.
We're gonna have to start listen.
All I gotta do is ignore you.
We're gonna have to
I love you, Anthony. I love you already. You know, we're here, but you know, I gotta just start off with you on that one.
We're gonna have to start calling her Auntie Nakia.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I will give you that. I will give you that debate. I will give you that debate. But with that being said, you know, I do think that Irv Gotti took advantage of this moment. He put a spotlight on the era of Murder Inc. and how much influence it had over the urban rap game, and of course the urban market, and of course Ja Rule and Chauncey, they killed it. And everybody watching right now, they all kind of think of Ashanti as a even bigger icon because of this. And I really hope she gets the success moving forward that's even bigger than what she has right now because of this. And
you know, it brings up though, and Greer brought this question up. Should people put their we know the answer, right? Should people put their personal business on Twitter? I think the question is, why do people put their personal business
That's
on
the question. They do. I mean, honestly, because of the fame. I mean, Twitter is one of the hugest social media markets in the world. Everything you say can either go viral or exist some kind of way in somebody's. You still got memes from before that's still relevant to this day. Every time you talk about some kids, you see that Jordan meme.
That crying meme, baby.
That's those kids. You know what I'm saying? Hey, everything happens based off of a trend. And if I keep telling, you know, Stacey all the time that the power of Twitter is beyond what we thought 10 years ago.
The power of Black Twitter, really.
The Black Twitter, and you know what?
Yeah.
We get a lot more views on Twitter for our program than the other platforms.
Absolutely, of course, we get more views on Twitter than I mean, I keep telling the Black press, if you're not on Twitter, you're losing money. You're losing out on engagement. You're losing out on influence, and you're losing the ability to market yourself. And and it's important that journalists get on Twitter because you're a brand. Everyone who's on Twitter is a brand, and regardless of what you think about the platform, you're a personal brand to yourself. If your stories become relevant, you're telling your stories, and you're actually giving yourself a disadvantage if you're not sharing them on social media and Twitter, because people won't see them. You got people that only do work. You got especially the youth. You got youth that only get on IG. You got youth that only get on Twitter. You got people that leak, and it's funny because when those platforms go down, where do everybody go to find out? They go to Twitter. When Facebook go down, when Instagram go down, the first post you see on Twitter is Facebook went down. Instagram went down.
Look, we have to give Nakia let Nakia have the last word because we've gone over time here. We're gonna have to wrap. So we're gonna let the Bayou beat take us home.
It was a pleasure.
Oh,
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure talking to you first, Nakia. It was a pleasure meeting you, and you know, you're an amazing person, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Oh, I do too. Thank you so much for having me. I just like to say that I'm a whole lot of crazy. When I'm in the newsroom, I am so quiet. They used to call me silent one. And I used to just be sitting there thinking, baby, you just don't know me. I just don't have anything to say. And sometimes I have to gauge what I say, because sometimes I'll just, you know, as you can see, I'll say something. But I would love to say thank you so much, Mr. Brown. I am a huge fan of your work, because I share it on my site. It's like, you are our CNN, you are our Associated Press, and we thank you for that. Mr. Anthony, just thank you for, I love, you know, meeting new people. I hope that we can stay connected and stay friends. I love to spar off with you another time. Guess what? Hint, hint, Mr. Brown, that means bring us back. You know, we got you, you know. And just everybody out there, I really want to say, support the Black press and come to us. You need to stay connected with us. Follow us, even if we don't have the blue check. And then all of you out there, you business owners and everybody, spend dollars with us. Stop running everywhere else to spend your dollars and ignoring the Black press, because we're not just something you run to when you're in need of something.
Yeah, or in trouble.
It's all the time. Yeah, in trouble or during election time. Come to us, 365. Black people, we have memories like elephants. We'll say, I remember you didn't do this. You know, back then didn't want me. We're gonna do. I'm from the South. I'm gonna end it with Mike Jones. Back then didn't want me. Now I'm hot all on me. Don't come to me when it's that.
Oh, wow. Well, at this point, Daniela Pierre says perhaps we need to create our own verification. We instead of blue check mark, we're gonna get a black check mark or something like that. Anthony, get Anthony on the job, and it will get done. Thanks so much, y'all, and thank everybody for joining. Let it be known. We thought middle of the week. I just landed. I'm tired. We thought we'd have some fun this morning, and I think we accomplished that. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.